My friends, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad I'm here. I wanted to do something fun today, and I've had this Daphne's Diary magazine sitting out for quite a few months now. Not quite a few, but a few. And I thought maybe I would do something with that today. I looked through before the video, and I thought it would be fun to make some ephemera from things in here. So we're just going to go flip through. I've got my glues, and I've got a stack of white cardstock that is ready for recycling as far as or repurposing, because it's from my work and it was being disposed of and I couldn't throw it away. It's so hard to throw away cardstock, file folders, and white cardstock for me, because I know I can use it. It's just that there's so much of it that I don't want it to take over my house, so I need to use some of it. So first of all, I got to get the pieces that I'm going to glue on to the cardstock, and I've got my paper cutter here, and I've got scissors, all the basics. You really don't need anything fancy to do something like this. And so let's start from like flip here. So today I'm going to stick to ephemera because I got a couple things I want to do. And a long time ago, when I got a 1-year subscription to Daphne's Diary, when about the time I got my subscription, I ordered it, paid for it, and I made a few journals to sell in my shop, and I did sell them. And then right when my subscription started and I was selling those journals, Daphne said we couldn't sell anything with Daphne's Diary magazine. Like the cover. What I would do is use the cover for the cover of the journal, which is really pretty, or the back, which is also very pretty. But I think, making ephemera, I don't, I'm not using the original image as a whole. But besides that, I could also say that I think, in my own opinion, my own personal opinion, I think that if we cut it up and use it in a different way, that might be okay. Like, I'm not using the original image as a whole. Like, so say this right here. I just pulled out this page because, I have, along with all the other things in my craft room, I have some of these magazines, and, I don't want anything to sit in here forever without me using it. And I have made some journals out of these. It was about a year ago or so, where I was making some journals, and they were a free gift. So that's another way to do it. I made some little journals out of the pages and the covers of one or two magazines of these Daphne's Diary magazines, and they were a free gift. So that's another way to do it. Where you're using them for your own personal use or giving them away. So that's not selling them. So that was a picture just now. That's how the picture was on this page. And I cut it out. And this one too. Let's see what's on the other side. I kind of like both sides. Let's do this side on this one, because look, there's little teacups on a shelf. Let's do this one. I changed my mind on this one. On the other side of this one's just, it's teacups too. I don't need 2 teacup ones though, so let's just do 1 teacup and one of that kind of little scene there in a house or something. Really pretty. I just kind of cutting it even around the shelf. So there's 2 things. Anything else on this page? This is cute. And we've got this little shelf with a bunch of little kind of really retro looking and vintage looking knickknacks. Let's cut that out. And there you've got, I'm going to have 4 pieces of ephemera out of this one page. So there's all kinds of things like that in these magazines. So if you have the Daphne's Diary, I would encourage you to, and you want to do something with them. I know some people maybe have just their collection and they just don't want to, they want to just keep them as is, which is fine. But that's not what I bought these for. I bought these to craft with. You know what I mean? I didn't buy them to collect them. I think they're beautiful, but I don't, I used to get magazines and I don't anymore because I don't want them sitting around, you know what I mean? Like I used to buy them and keep them, and I just, you know, I actually do have a good stack, but I got rid of a lot of them because I just had so many and didn't want to store them anymore. But I did, I have made a lot of, out of other magazines like Better Homes and Gardens, Country Home, Country Living. I'm going to cut this down so that it's narrower. This is a cute, there's a queen. I think that's a pretty picture there right in the middle. There's a little deer right here. And we got Eiffel Towers on both sides. So let's pick a side. There's more on this side. They've got another picture down here. So let's cut it like right here, make it more narrower. So it can be, you know, it can better fit into a journal pocket that way. See, you still got the little deer. You got a little ballerina there. Really cute. So, I like to look at my scraps to see if I see anything like beautiful, like, no, nothing on there. Nothing on there. In the house. I don't know. In the house. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to keep that because while I could use it, I don't want to clutter up my craft room with too many things that are just like, if I keep it, I feel like I have to use it. So I don't want to make myself do that. Oh, so I've got, so out of, now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do one more page because there's so many in here. I could just cut out all day, but there, I saw these when I first picked up the magazine and flipped through it a little bit. These right here. These are actually, I might tear these out. See how they have a rough edge? It looks like they are torn. It has a picture of scissors, but I think I'm going to tear these out. And let me see which way they go. This is right side up. They say party invitation on the front, but they have really pretty colors on them as far as like the little blue, green, and they have dotted lines on the back. These I don't even have to back. These are sitting here waiting for me to, you know, make ephemera out of them, right? So I'm just going to take my ruler, regular old ruler. You don't have to have any special tear ruler to tear things out. And I put the flattest edge on, and I know a lot of you have seen me do this before, so nothing new, but in case you haven't, I just put the flattest edge over where I'm going to tear, and then tear. And it makes a nice, I like a nice, I do have to admit, I do like a nice straight tear, but I do like a tear sometimes. I think it looks nice. So let's see what these look like. Torn out, and they can just be immediately ready for me to use as ephemera. And these pages are actually about 12 inches in length, so it's perfect for my little ruler here, my little 1 foot, 12-inch ruler. And I can just tear. I'm kind of excited to see what these look like now. And there's another page of them right here that also says party invitation on the front. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it says. The point is, it's a pretty piece of ephemera that you can journal on. It has those lines on the back. I don't even have to back it with any cardstock. So what am I waiting for, right? Let's get these ready to go. I was just in the mood for something fun today. I am working on another vintage journal, which I will show you in a minute. Or before the video is over. I have it right here. And so that's the next vintage journal I'm going to be finishing and putting in my eBay shop. And yeah, if you're interested, just let me know. I know you probably want to see how it develops before you make a decision, but yeah, I was wondering if I should actually even, I mean, I truly don't add on the price of what eBay charges me. You know, I just deal with it. You know, they charge a percentage just like Etsy and whatever, Amazon, wherever you sell your journals. But I truly don't add it on. So, I don't know. I'm just wondering if someday I should see if it saves me, it truly saves me anything by not selling them on eBay. Like, if you want it and you know you're going to want it, let me know, and it's just that the thing about eBay, and I guess maybe Etsy still does it too, but they give you get a discount on the postage. And I don't ever charge you more than eBay charges me, so you all get a discount on the postage too, you know. And if I just go straight to the post office, without eBay, I think it's going to cost more in postage. So, I mean, I hate to take away that discount from you all. So I just kind of eat the percentage that eBay charges me and keep it on eBay. First of all, it's easy to put it on eBay, and I think anyway, and it's, easy to print out a label, just so easy to print out a label and for the package, and I don't know, I think I get what my money's, I kind of almost feel like I get my money's worth by selling on eBay. And I think you really do on Etsy too, except for Etsy is just too micromanaging. That's why I don't sell on Etsy. They just micromanage you too much. Like, I know what I'm doing. You don't have to, like, give me goals to make me do things. That's what Etsy does. If you don't do these certain things, you're going to get a bad rating, get a star taken off, or get a bad seller rating or whatever. eBay doesn't do that. They do, eBay I feel like is more encouraging than Etsy. Etsy is discouraging, for real. I mean, I never had a bad rating when I did sell on Etsy, but they just kept coming out with these new things, more and more micromanaging. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, I'm not leaving the pink on here, as you can see, but these are going to be cute. It's almost, you almost can't tell that they're torn because it's a straight tear. Anyway, I guess I'll keep it for the same for now, because I just kind of talked myself out of selling it off eBay, because that postage discount is pretty good. It can save $1 or $2 for you all, and I don't want to take that away from you. And so, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know if you have any opinion on it. Did I get this one? Yeah, I did that one right. Okay, and so, anyway, I hope y'all are doing well. I didn't change my clocks, your phone with the time change. I just thought about it last night, and then I went to sleep, and I was like, woke up at my regular, I don't set my alarm or anything. I just kind of wake up in the morning, every morning, and I was kind of alarmed. I was kind of alarmed that I woke up because usually I wake up around, I did go to sleep late though. I stayed up late crafting here in my craft room. So when I stay up late, I sleep later. It's just a natural thing. I just naturally sleep like 8 hours. So when I wake up 8 hours later, whatever time it is, usually it's around 5:30 or 6. And this morning it was 7:20. I was like, oh my goodness, I slept late. How could I do such a thing? because I like to get up and get going, do some things before I have to, go out of the house or whatever. All right, so here is what they look like. Let me show you the whole torn edge around, if you can see it, hopefully. I think they're really cute, and you can do things further with these if you wanted to. Here's the back where you write, but I just think they're really cute. You can ink around the edges, like say if you're doing a certain color theme, you could ink pink around, or just regular kind of. I don't have a lot of. I don't have any color. I think I have blue, but that someone gave me, but my only real ink that I have to distress things and like ink around edges is Vintage Photo. That's the only thing I've ever used, and I like that. I don't want a whole collection of inks here in my craft room. I don't want to take up that space, so I don't get the inks. So like here's another page that I can do with that same thing, and I kind of was thinking I did want to do those, but I wanted to get one more page with something that I'm going to back with the cardstock. So there was something. Oh, look at this. That's fun. I could cut that. That could be a long, narrow tag. Yeah, let's look. Here's some pretty little. There's pretty pages in here. Are these stickers? These are stickers right here. Yeah, let's take this page. I really like that, and I don't want to just skip it and say I'll come back to it. Let's use my paper cutter on this one to go a little faster. I think I'm going to keep the numbers around the outside. This could be even be a belly band. So I'll keep these scraps for the moment. And do, I'll put them in my scrap control pile for my next video. See if we can use them. If I go through that pile and decide I don't want it though, what does it say? Year in pixels. And to see, there's really nothing on this page that I would keep for my personally, but some people might keep this outside frame. That's pretty. This is pretty, but year in pixels. I don't know about that. If I really want to keep that. This is cute right here. A little like chart with the colors. I kind of like that. Or I could cut out something on this side and make a tag. This would be cute for a ocean sea journal. So maybe I'll do that with that. Let's finish cutting this out. Let's see, did I cut close enough? I think I need to cut a little bit closer to the numbers here. I was kind of went on the line that they had, but it leaves a little bit too much blank space there, so let me just cut a little bit closer to the numbers. There we go, that's better. Where's that strip? It's so thin. So yeah, my husband seems to like to reset the clocks, so I don't I don't really reset any clocks. He just goes around and resets the microwave and the oven, the things that don't automatically reset. Okay, that looks, I like that. Okay, we'll put that in our pile that we have to back. And where's that other piece here? Let's go ahead and do something with this. Let's leave a little bit of water under there and cut this. So I ended up cutting through that chart, which is fun. I wasn't really, like I have to have that chart. This is kind of wide. Let's see, there's a little bit of blank space. I would like to keep that bird on the top, but like this, it might be all right. Yeah, like that's okay. That's good. Yeah, now I get to keep the bird and the whole family in the boat on the water. Isn't that cute? And you could even, like, if you didn't care about keeping the bird, you could fussy cut around this, and that would be cute too, kind of like making your own. I've been thinking about, I watched the, I'm not a drawer, Like I could draw maybe a simple thing, really super simple things, but not anything super complicated or complicated at all. So I was thinking, and I probably saw it on a video, but for me, the best, I've been watching, what I'm saying is I've been watching the fodder videos, and I would love to be able to draw things like that, but I'm not a drawer. And of course, I could probably learn to draw better, but oh, look at this butterfly. That's really pretty. It's kind of, what is it made out of? From computer to butterfly. I really love that. Let's cut that out. Okay, this side is just like bedroom scenes as far as decorate, like sleep like a magnolia. I guess it's, you know, I'm guessing it's things from Magnolia. Decorating, home decorating ideas. But this butterfly is beautiful. So this is what I'm not gonna, when I saw this, I guess this is exactly what I'm talking about. Or trying to talk about. Just making fodder out of pictures instead of trying to draw them. When I could see myself kind of trying to learn to draw better at some point. And when I have time to learn, when I retire, I always say that, don't I? When I retire, I'm going to do this, that, and the other. I'm going to be so busy when I retire, learning how to draw, doing all the things that I don't have time to do now. Like, I should just do them now, probably, right? But I do like to learn new things. And I want to learn, like last year I did kind of learn couple new things as far as my YouTube videos go and editing them and stuff like that. Doing all the things you have to do to post a video. And so this year I would like to take that a bit further and learn a couple more new things with that. So, yeah. I don't know about the antenna on this butterfly. A lot of times I'll just cut off the antenna and then draw my own new antenna. I can draw an antenna on a butterfly. Or, let's see, it's just so thin. Trying to see. No, I don't think I'm going to cut. I don't think I'm going to cut around the ephemera. It's just too much. So, I mean, it's too small, not too much. And I'm leaving a little border, a little white border here. So we got a couple different kinds of ephemera here. This, I don't think I would back this because I want to be able to glue it down wherever I want, So, and this is, I don't mind if it's shiny, like if I had a shiny magazine, glossy. I don't really mind if it's shiny or matte finish. I like both. I've done both. So, if you're never done the glossy, so these are little feet that I cut. Are those supposed to be feet? Legs? I guess those are supposed to be legs. I did cut around the legs. I don't know. Should I keep them? Should I keep the legs? Or cut them off? Let me see what it looks like with the legs. Because they're made out of thin wires here. It looks like. That does look nice. But I want to cut them off and see what it looks like. Because I think it'll be fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut them off. Just want to see what it looks like. Yeah, I like that. I like that better without that little white. Because you probably can't even really see it. Even in the camera. So, like, it doesn't really make a difference. Big difference. There we go. Look how colorful and pretty that is. So I can glue that on a page. I can glue that on a piece of cardstock and make a journal. I have to see. You know what it would be pretty on? Let me look here. It would be pretty on some text, like a text. Let me get all this trash out of the way. A text background, big enough to hold it. So let's see what's on. Here's some pretty flowers. Now that would be another nice piece of fodder instead of me trying to draw flowers. Cut that out. And from computer to butterfly, I could keep the word butterfly here. That would be a fun word to add with this butterfly onto a tag or a journal card or whatever. That's kind of, I'm going to cut it off the page here and then cut it out. So, oh, I don't need the word to. To butterfly. No, I don't want the word to. So, I'm going to keep that flower too. Let's see. I did cut off part of the flower, but I'm going to make that work. So let's just cut that off the page. And so we used another page. I don't know if if I have time, we'll cut this out in a minute. But and I don't want the word to, but I want the word butterfly here. And I do like to cut around words kind of in a shapely, whatever shape the word is in as much as possible. You know, I think it really is pretty when you do that. So, and I try not to have any sharp edges, like pointy, just all curves. So I'll cut in a curvy fashion around the letters and try to make it as shapely as possible. You know, you have to kind of let the letters be your guide. Though, if it's straight across, then, you know, you can just cut in a oval or something like that around, not a rectangle or square. Just cut an oval or a circle or something. You know, all curvy lines instead of pointy or squared off. Okay, the font on here is very thin cursive writing, like written with a very thin pen. But there we go. That looks nice. You could even call that a piece of fodder, I think. I don't know. I would call it a piece of fodder. I would call it a word. Actually, I would call it a word that I cut out because I have other words that I've cut out here in my craft room in a little drawer. I think they're all in a little drawer. All right, let's stop there because I could just do this all day, like I said. Oh, here's the leg that would cut off the butterfly. But look at the rest of the, see, we could cut out the dragonfly, some of these little bees here. Here's a card I could just take out that's ready to be a piece of ephemera. Oh, that's a postcard. Look at that. Let's pull that out real quick. This is glued on with that removable glue. It's, I don't know what kind of glue they use in a magazine like this. This is not hot glue, I don't think, but it's kind of like, I think hot glue might be peelable like that. Sometimes the best vacation is a staycation. Isn't that true? I would love a staycation. I love a staycation when they're like you get a day off, because that means crafty time for me. And plus get stuff done around the house. This is really pretty right here. And you could tear that again. See how it's got that torn look anyway. So yeah, all kinds of little squares and rectangles you can cut out here for tags and things. There was something else. Oh, these whole pages. Okay, oh, I was going to look for like a text page for the backing of that butterfly. I need something. Let me get the butterfly because it needs to be big. That's a very wide butterfly. So it might be, I don't know. It might be better. See, that's too busy. It would really stand out on text. See how that text is, but I don't have enough text there. But it might be better to put it on a page because that's beautiful. Because it's so wide, and it would be a very wide journaling card or tag. Or it could be on a pocket. That would be a cute pocket, actually. Like that. See the text behind it? And just cut a rectangle around it to be a pocket, future pocket. Oh, here's a bunch of text here. Yeah, let's pull this page out. And right here, it's separated text, but it's still, you know, what else am I going to do with this page? Let's close that because I just see more and more things I want to cut out, don't I? Let's cut off the top where the text starts. We'll go ahead and make this into a pocket just because we ran across this beautiful butterfly that we want to use. Let me see how far down it goes. Let me turn it around here. And cut this. So when the right journal comes up with, you know, maybe colorful journal, more colorful journal, this can go in there as a beautiful butterfly pocket. And I'll just cut around it here. And glue it down, have it ready to go in my ephemera stash. The words start right here, right at the edge of the butterfly. I'm kind of get as small as possible so I can, you know, not have it too big. Because let's see how wide it is. Let's see how wide it is. Actually, I need to move this. It's in my way now. And oh, got 2 extra page that came out. All right, let's measure. I want to see if it's more than 5 inches wide, because I know if it's 5 inches wide, it would be pretty easy to fit in just about any journal. Oh, it's actually 6 1/4 inches wide, 6 1/4 inches wide. So yeah, I'm going to have to wait for a wider journal. But let's go ahead and take one of my many pieces of cardstock here and glue it down because I want to make it sturdy. So we need to do 2 layers of gluing here. We need to glue the butterfly on. And so I'm going to use, let's put it this way, and I'm going to use on the back of the butterfly some, because this is not terribly thin, but it is, you know, not thick at all. It's not like cardstock or anything. So let's just use some glue stick on here so we don't make any kind of extra bulk by using a thick glue or damage it in any way. I just like that permanent glue stick for gluing things nice and flat. And then of course it's permanent too. All right, so I wanted to leave some text at the top, but I'm kind of putting it just below the top where there's some text showing, and more toward the bottom. Oh, there we go. And then, I mean, you could leave it like this and make a pocket, but like I said, it's kind of not thick, so I'd rather sturdy it up a little bit with some cardstock. So now I'm going to go ahead and use some thicker, since this is cardstock, go ahead and use some sturdier glue. Oh, I was looking for I have an older Fabri-Tac and a newer Fabri-Tac, and I'm trying to use up the older one. Of course, I had this in where did I have it? In my craft bag or downstairs or something. So And meanwhile, I had opened up another one, a new one for up here in my craft room, and now I have two open, so I don't really like to keep an old one around unless, unless I need it somewhere else, like in my craft bag, or when I say craft bag, I mean the bag, it's the craft tote bag that I take to work with me when I'm going to craft at work. So I don't want to put too much glue on here. I kind of want minimal glue on here, but enough to glue it down all over. So not like big globs or anything like that. That should be good. And like the goal is not to have to sew around this too. I mean, if I wanted to sew around it, I would, but I just don't really, feel that it's necessary. Let me move this so I don't get anything on this, like pristine. Even though this has been used, it's pretty much pristine as far as, no marks or anything on it. I'm going to put it right here at the top. And then we'll have a nice sturdy pocket. I like to try to make the pockets nice and sturdy like this with cardstock behind, so that when you put things in and out of it, maybe over the years, as far as, I don't know. I don't know if most, like for mine, I don't tend to put things in and out of it, but I will, like, say I make myself a journal. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here so we can use the rest of this for our other ephemera that we're going to glue down. But yeah, I guess I tend to like make the journal, and at that time putting things in and out of the pockets, and then when I'm filling up the journal with my whatever I'm putting into the journal, I will then put things in and out of it again, as far as decorating maybe, or making it, writing on a tag or writing on something and adding things to a pocket. So I am putting things in and out a little bit, not a whole lot, but I still think they need to be sturdy because, I don't want it to tear when I'm doing just even that little bit. So there we go. So I think it's good like this. It's squared off here. I think this could really use some rounded corners. So I'm going to leave, for a pocket, I like to leave the bottom squared off and then just around the top corners. I think that looks pretty, and it looks more, to me, it almost, either or, it doesn't matter, but see, doesn't it kind of look more like a pocket when you have the top rounded off like that? Oh, where's my word? My butterfly word. I gotta put that on there. Hello. That's why I cut it out. I don't, like if I didn't want to put it on here, I wouldn't, where do I want to put it now? Where do I want to put it? I don't want to cover up the butter. Oh, I think I'm going to put it right there. I don't want to put it like right. That almost looks cute, doesn't it? But I see there's like a computer part right there. That's why I'm thinking of covering that up. Let me put it out here and look at it from a little bit of a distance. No, I don't think it's covering. Yeah, I do like covering that up though. Actually, I do like covering that up, that little computer part, for some reason. Like if I didn't have this, I would just leave it and it would be fine. But since I do have it, I think I'm going to put it there. Yeah. Okay. I know you're probably saying don't put it there. I'm going to do it. Some of you are saying put it there. It looks good. Some of you are saying don't cover up the butterfly. Well, I'm not covering up. I'm making it better. Because it's not that I don't like that computer part, but I like it better without it showing it, since I have a choice to cover it up with this. And this is a pretty word too, so it's just all kind of like very junk journal-y to put the word on here. I think it makes it more junk journal-y and more I don't know, it just has a certain thing that I really like there. And it's the green, it matches. There we go. I like it. It's, a bit of layering. tiny bit of layering that I really like it. All right, so where's our pieces that we cut out here? We've got this one, which we could put right here. I might put it on another piece though. Let's see if we can get, the rest of them are not going to fit on here either. So let's see, will this actually fit on here? This way. And this is actually even different than the butterfly. Is it? I don't know. It feels different for some reason. This is such a big piece. I'm not going to take time to cover it with. I'm not going to take time to cover it with my glue stick because that would take too much time. So I need to get a little bit of this globby glue off here. It's really kind of bothering me. Here, so let me get that off of there. Because it's like almost like I can't see the glue coming out because it's so much glue on around the nozzle there. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's glue this one down. Just doing it like I did on the back of the other text part of that pocket, all over a thin layer. Like I'm not squeezing too hard on the bottle. So just a thin layer of glue comes out of the, I've kind of had to learn that because I used to just kind of, I think, squeeze too hard on the Fabri-Tac, and I just would have like so much glue that I didn't need or want on something. So yeah, I kind of taught myself to do it more sparingly so I can use my Fabri-Tac more without feeling like I'm putting too much glue on something or making it like even bulky with the glue, or like I'm going to ruin something with too much glue. Okay, you see that glued down nice and flat. I just like that for, a piece of ephemera to put in a pocket that you can write on, and we sturdied it up here with this cardstock. So I can put it in a pocket, or it can be a belly band. Oops, hold on, let me move this up. I'm kind of pushing too hard on the edge of my table here. Because, well, I've explained it before, but if you're new, my table has hinges on both sides. It has a solid middle part and hinges on both sides. And I've pushed on this side so much that I've made it a little weak over here. So I have to make sure I get up here where it's more, kind of like beyond the hinge. This is actually a kitchen island. It was called a kitchen island when I got it, in case you haven't heard that before. I've said it before, but, or in case you forgot, yeah, I got this table when I first set up my craft room downstairs several years ago. I got this table for the middle of the room for my crafting table, and it's actually a kitchen island, which I liked because, and I still love it because it's not huge, but I think I've enjoyed it, and I like the storage underneath. You know how a kitchen island, a lot of times we'll have the storage underneath, and this one did. And if I ever do want to fold down the hinges, I can. So I like that. All right. This almost got that one cut off. There we go. Looks good. I can barely see something like from the other side of that. That doesn't bother me at all though. But from the other side of the page, it must have had something colorful over there. But it's not like a super, I don't know if you probably can't see it in the camera even, but right here there's something I can see from the other side and right here. But that doesn't matter to me. Let's see if there's some glue right there. And I could even put a decoration on here, somewhere like down here. But I like the idea of using it like this, like a belly band. Put glue on the top and the bottom. It could be a belly band. This is, where's my ruler? So for this to be a belly band, it would have to be in a journal that's a little over 8 1/4, almost 8 inches tall, which is not, totally out of the ordinary. So now I do have a little bit of white cardstock showing here, which I don't want. Let me just cut along here real quick. Could you see it in the camera? Like I could just ink along there and cover that up, but I didn't necessarily. I don't ink a lot of things unless it's like if it's going into a really super vintage journal, then, you know, if I was putting this in there, I would ink around it to just cover that up and not have to cut it off, but because then it just covers it up. But I don't know where it's going, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those slivers off. There we go. We got all the white cardstock off from around. So that one's done. We made a pocket and a belly band slash journaling card slash tag. It could be any of the above. I wouldn't add anything up here because I don't want to cover up the letters. I love the letters and the numbers here. That's very cool. Kind of looks like a ledger almost. Okay, so the other pieces we cut out. Let me grab another piece of cardstock here. And, oh, this is just the page where we got the text. I'll save that. Put it with the magazine so I can use that further. The little book of building fires. I was just trying to see if that would be something I would make into ephemera. Probably not, because it says the little book of building fires. Kind of weird. And this one over here, I was trying to see if that could be a piece of ephemera. I don't know. Could cut that girl out. That would be cool. Cut this girl out. You know how I can't draw, so I can't draw a girl. So if I could cut a girl out, that would be great to use her on a tag. That's going to be my plan. Yes, I like that idea. All right, so now these are, again, I'm going to use my thin method of gluing these down on this paper, this cardstock. I want to make sure it doesn't have any marks on it or anything. Nope. Okay. So if it did have a little slight in something, like a little dot or something, I would still use it because, you know, we are repurposing, recycling, and making junk journals, so, you know, it goes along with that. I hear birds outside. Just a second. Okay, so, yeah, we got that glued down. And let's just glue these others down real quick. Where's the teapot one? Let's see. Let's put another big one up here, though. This is the biggest one. Next biggest one, anyway. Yeah, so I think that this was a good idea to go ahead and make some ephemera from this magazine, but I want to make a few other things from this same magazine. And like, I don't know how many of these magazines I have. Like, I'm going to guess 5 more maybe. And so, you know, I need to, you know, do something. And, you know, you could do the same thing with books. It doesn't have to be a magazine. So, or, you know, one thing is if you have advertisements, that's another thing I like to make into ephemera in some type of book, like, for instance, what is that magazine? The little magazine that's vintage. I can't think of the name of it right now. Well, prevention magazines I have done it with. Vintage prevention magazines have a lot of ads that you can cut out. And, the work basket. That's the other one I was trying to think of. Work basket yearbooks a lot of times will have the kind of advertisements in the back, you know, from the people, the parents that was sponsored. Let's see. Do we have another scrap here of? No. Okay. Did we use up that other one? Where'd it go? Hold on. Nope, I don't have one big enough to put this on. Okay, because I've got one more piece here. But, so let's go ahead and just grab another piece and glue this one down real quick. But, yeah, all those kind of things have cool things you can cut out and make into ephemera. But for this exact same magazine that I used today, I'd like to do another, do some other crafting with it. And so today, like we made ephemera, I'd like to go through it and cut out fodder like we did the butterfly and use those. Like that girl, I just said, oh, I would like to cut that out. And move this down a little bit. That girl I would like to cut out and things like that. So I'd like to go through it again and just find some fodder. And also, I'm going to cut this one out with my scissors. So to go through one session with fodder in mind, see what we can find, and then go through it another time and have in mind envelopes, I think it would be fun to make some envelopes. I haven't done that in a while. I can move that down a little bit, because there's a little kind of, little piece there that's dented. I don't know what else to call it. And so I left a white border around this. I think that's cute. So I'm going to show you what we made in just a second. And I'm going to show that journal that I'm working on too. Because I think I'm going to, I've got it pretty far along, but I'm going to come back. I haven't showed it to you yet, except for the cover at some point. I just might cut these out all with my scissors. I kind of like leaving that little white border around. I want to see what that looks like. I mean, I can always cut it off if I don't like it, right? But I can't put it back on, so let's cut it out and see how we like it. But yeah, and even if you have a shiny magazine or a new magazine, you can do this exact same thing. Cut out pieces of the pages that you like, and just, now I didn't really cut around these. I didn't glue these down with the idea in mind that I was going to leave a white border, so I can't do it on all of these, but I can do it on this one. And I can do it on this one. Let me get this off. Sometimes I just like to get it off the page and get the part I'm not using off so I can get it out of my way, you know what I mean? So I can't do that here though. Okay, so I'm going to leave a white border around this one, this little one. And yeah, the top, this big one here with the family, I'm not going to be able to leave a white border around that. I just didn't have that in mind when I was gluing it down. I would have had to have that in mind to leave extra room around in between and things like that. Okay. Come off of there. But yeah, so envelopes, fodder to use. And also, I think before people started using the word fodder, we just said fussy cuts. But, go with the flow. I'll call it fodder. Fodder fussy cuts. Going with the flow. So, yeah. I think I didn't, see, I can leave a partial border, but that doesn't look good because, so I'll go ahead and cut it off of this one. At the top, I put it right at the top. And this will be cute, just like it is without a border. I'm glad we made this one because I do have some little golden books that have that theme of the sea or the ocean, that one Theodore Goes to Sea. That's a really cute book. And I actually probably have more than one of those. I probably have a couple and have never made a journal out of that one, that particular little golden book. Okay, now I've got a very slight sliver up here at the top where I couldn't get it like right on the edge of the top for fear of getting glue over the edge, I think. So there's a little sliver there too. All right, there's that one. And let's line these up here so you can see them. Very cute, though. That's a cutely illustrated family there, isn't it? With their striped shirts. And I love the little bird up there, the little seagull. I guess there's a seagull up there flying up overhead. And so this one I'm going to try to leave a little. Let me cut. What? Okay, no, I can't. Let me cut this with my paper cutter. I want to make sure I get a nice straight line because that side of the picture is not straight. So I'm going to just have to even it out with the white border. Yeah, that's fine. And now, so this is already here, this was already here, and I just need to cut this a little bit here. It's a little bit too wide, more wide than the other sides. Okay, there we go. So, you know, we didn't do a whole lot, but we did some, which I'm happy with, using some of my magazine there. So here's these. Let me move my ruler out of the way. Here's these. Let me move this over a little bit. This. I made this. Let me move my paper cutter. You all can see, so I can see too. This. Tell me if you love this butterfly pocket. I kind of love it. I actually really do love it. I'm going to cut this flower out and that girl. We'll do that in the next one. Actually, I might cut them out before, and then we can just find some more to cut out in the next kind of ephemera video. Oh, and we did all of these. Look how, wow, so I did more than I thought I did. Because if you count all of these, this is a lot. And this is, let me feel this. Well, now it's backed, but these, I think these are actually on thicker paper. Yeah, these are actually on thicker paper. So they are very sturdy feeling. Okay, so we did all of these little journaling cards, or yeah, journaling cards. And what else did we do? We took this postcard out of the magazine, ready to go. So I'll put this into my postcard pile. And as I'm mentioning postcards, don't forget, if you want to exchange a postcard with me during March, I have some ready to go that we made together. So, you know, just send me one or let me know. If you let me know in an email, I'll go ahead and send yours out before I even get yours. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's everything we did. Yeah, I think I got it all over here. Now, here's the journal. Here's what we did today. Here's the journal I'm working on, just as a reminder. I had showed you this cover, and we put these birds on together on this cover, old grungy cover again, from 1931. I picked out this fabric for this spine. I wanted something that matched all the colors on here. So like you got this golden color behind and the colors in the birds. So that's why I picked out this. Thought it had all those colors in it. And then I put this piece of scrapbook paper on the back for some color. A little bit of vintagey looking, but still a little bit of color. See, there's some pink in here. And this is kind of a distressed shaded pink. It's kind of a peachy pink, and it has that like vintage photo color in the kind of brownish colors that on here. See where it's faded here? I just thought that looked really nice on the back. And I left a little border of the book. This was just plain grunge on the back, so I thought, you know, I had to do something there. And then I've got the two signatures already in here. And I left the original inside of the book. I thought it was so cool, just as it was. It's exactly as it was. Distressing and all, natural distressing. So it had this green and white behind, and then it had this library pocket, never used. This book's from 1931. I think, of course, they probably put the, when it got to, I think it went, what I figured out is, okay, here's where it says Washington. It says Washington on one of the pages. There's a stamp, very thin. You can't hardly even see it. But it says Washington Grammar School Library or something like that. So here's where it says Washington Grammar. And apparently that's in Greensboro, North Carolina. And so they had this sticker here, which is very worn. And this, at some point they put it, I don't know when, like it doesn't look like a 1931 library pocket, but at some point this library pocket was put in there by the library. So the original library pocket and the original library card that was in here, never written on, which I think is really cool. So I had to leave that, right? And then here's the fabric. As you see, the same fabric wrapped around. Here's the 2 signatures. This is the paper that's on the back. I used that in the first signature. I just want to show you, I used several pages from the book in here. Here's that stamp where it says Washington Grammar School Library. Right there. You can hardly see it, but I think it's really cool. And then here's several pages. I took the pages out of the book and then put them back together so that I could put them in here. And then just, you know, regular eclectic pages here. I put a garden page in the middle of each one. Pretty garden, vintage garden page. So that's the first signature. And then here's the second signature. This is a music book. See right here it says music, and on the title page it's actually called, let me find the title page real quick. I did put the copyrights right here, so this book will have its copyright. And here's the actual title page, The Story of Music. So I thought that was all very cool, so I did use music scrapbook paper here. And then here's the second signature. Lots of vintage papers. The only thing that's not, things that are not vintage is like my coffee dyed paper and my scrapbook paper. You know, so this is like coffee dyed Astro Brights. But anyway, in the middle of this signature, another pretty garden page. Those are vintage. So yeah, it's coming along. I'm gonna sew these in, and I'll come back and decorate with you. I haven't done anything with you on this except for put the birds on the cover, the rub-ons. So yeah, I'll come back and do some decorating after I get those sewn in. But that's where I'm at with that. So I hope you enjoyed today. I certainly did. That was a lot of fun. And I will see you all in my next video. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you then.